I'd like to give you a book or 3 book recommendations because we're coming up to the holiday period and quite often people like to take a book on holiday with them, and I like to recommend 3 books. I know when I've recommended these to people before, they've thanked me for the recommendations. The first one might be familiar to some of you. It's called Eat That Frog by my favourite Canadian author, Brian Tracy. And Eat That Frog is the perfect antidote to procrastination and getting things done, especially things that you don't want to do. And we all have things in our day we don't want to do. Apparently, the worst thing you could possibly do during the course of a day is actually eat a frog. So if you eat the frog right at the start of the day, you'll just feel better from that moment onwards. So Eat That Frog, highly recommended for getting things done. The second book is a rather sort of morbid title, I suppose, Die with Zero. Getting All You Can from Your Money and Your Life by Bill Perkins. Die with Zero. And I wrestled for years, many years, with this idea that everything I'm doing is to build up a future for my daughter. And everything I do is, I've got to have more property, because this is my daughter's inheritance, I want it to be as big as possible. But you know that a lot of people just completely disagree with that. They say that actually spoils someone and they need to make their own way in life and they won't appreciate it because they haven't earned it themselves. When you read this book, it makes you revalue what's important to you, what's going to be important to your family. And the concept is that in an ideal scenario, the day that you die is the day that you've just spent your last pound. Because the idea of inheritance is a flawed concept. Apparently in the United States, the average age of inheritance is actually 67. And when people are at the age of 67, they've either done all right for themselves at that point already, or they're actually winding down their own commercial activity in their lives and need less money anyway. So it's hard to explain how impactful this book is because it really makes you think differently about yourself, your businesses, your future, and unfortunately, it makes you think quite seriously about your demise. If I brought the mood of the room down slightly, I do apologise. So let me lift it with this book by Dan Martell. If you're on TikTok, by the way, TikTok's absolutely brilliant for business content. TikTok is not for teenagers. It can be for teenagers. It could be for people like us as well. So if you start watching business content on TikTok, it will show you more business content. And Dan Martell has a lot of good content on TikTok. And the book is called Buy Back Your Time. And the concept of the book is that you are probably doing things that you should not do. And if you paid someone else to do those things, you'd actually have the time to do the things that you should do. And the reason you're not doing the things that you should do and that you know will build your business, grow your empire, whatever it might be, is because you're spending too much time doing things that you shouldn't be doing that's far easier to pay someone else to do. It ties in actually very nicely with another book called Who, Not How. And Who, Not How, written by Dan Sullivan. Is a great book to read in conjunction with this. You can tell I'm a reader. If you've been on, well, have you been on a webinar with me? You've all been on webinars with me. And those books in the background, that's not a Zoom screen. Those are real books. I'm buying books every week and trying to read them as fast as I buy them. But Who, Not How is when you get stuck with a problem, instead of saying to yourself, how do I do this? You ask yourself the question, who can do this for me? How can I do this? Well, just get someone to do it for you. So it's Who, Not How. So read those 2 books together. Anyway, that's my 3 book recommendations.